Hey everyone, this is Rachel. Thanks for clicking on my video. And I came in today because this week, marks the 11-year anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. Now, it actually occurred yesterday, was the actual anniversary. And the reason why I waited to today is because today would have been the day that we realized that the levees had been breached. And this is the day that that Gulf Coast area started to really suffer the effects of that storm, because the cities were filling up, people's homes were filling up, and we as the public outside of that area, we were just finding out, how bad that storm was. Now, customarily, when there's a catastrophic event like this, when time passes, you often remember where you were or what was going on in your life when that event happened. So I took myself back 11 years, and I was working for a company called Limited Brands. I was a corporate travel agent with American Express. And the reason why I wanted to bring that up is because in that position, I had to help a few people in that area. So if you're not familiar with Limited Brands, it's owned by a guy by the name of Lex Wexner. Limited Brands also owns The Limited, Victoria's Secrets, Bath and Body Works, White Barn Candle Company. At the time, they owned Lane Bryant, Abercrombie, I can never say this, Abercrombie and Fitch, Express, and they also are instrumental in bringing, the Victoria's Secret fashion. So I can't talk today, people. I've had a lot going on, but they're instrumental in bringing in the Victoria's Secret fashion show. So during that time, we were told that when we got calls that a lot of these people were going to be down in that area, and that we were supposed to help with as much compassion as we could. And I'm just going to tell you one story that I experienced that I will never forget. And this is just one out of many stories, because in that job, we did help a lot of people. But there was this one man that called in, and I could tell he was a black man. And he told me that he had just escaped the area where his home was with his family, and they were in their van. And he said that they had packed everything that they could in their van, but they didn't know where to go. And he was asking me, could I find him a hotel? So because I had just found a hotel for someone else, I knew of one that would have been about 70 miles from where he lived. He said no problem, he would keep driving in that direction while I made his hotel reservation. So the guy had told me that it was him, his wife, and he had 3 children and a dog. So when I called the hotel, I told them all of that, and they said no problem, they could put the family up, but they couldn't put the dog up due to, safety issues, as well as, they didn't want any animals in their hotel, because they knew that people would be staying there for a while due to the storm. So I went ahead and booked the room for this man, because I didn't want to let it go, because he would not have found another one. So when I went back on the line, I told him, I said, well, I got you a room. The only problem is that your dog cannot go to the hotel. And right after I told him that, this man just broke down crying. I mean, literally, he was bawling like a baby. And I was saying all the things. I'm so sorry. Please, sir, just listen to me. Because what he was saying is that he's probably lost everything, and he can't bear to lose his dog. He can't bear to part with his dog. But had he given me a chance, I was going to tell him that the hotel told me that within 10 or 15 minutes drive of their hotel was a place that they were letting dogs board. So I let him cry, and I was just telling him, I understand. I'm so sorry. Everything that you say when someone's going through all that. And then once he was done, I let him know that, I found a place for not only him, but his dog as well. And in just that moment, when I was listening to that man cry, I mean, like, just break down like a baby and just cry. And I could hear his family in the background. When he started crying, they started crying. And he was telling me that he actually didn't see his house, I guess, just roll away. But he knew the neighborhood that he was in, and he had seen some of his neighbors' houses in areas that they shouldn't be. He had seen stores where they shouldn't be. I guess land points, or how that there's a rock that should be over here, or this is the top to this certain hotel. And he said that as he drove by that, he realized that when he left his home, it might be the last time that he ever saw it, and that he and his wife had built it, and they had had all their children there, and what sentimental value that it meant to him. And then all day long I was hearing story after story after story of things like that, of people just explaining what they were going through. And we would get off the phone and we would be crying. We would put them on hold and cry, because we had to be professional while we were speaking to them. But we're human too, and to hear these people crying their hearts out and basically giving us a bird's eye view of what we were hearing about on television. Then at the end of the day, after doing that, I would go home, and because I had become so invested in what was going on, I would spend the rest of the evening watching the coverage of what was happening. And I must say that Anderson Cooper from CNN and Soledad O'Brien really, really, really brought the face of Katrina to the forefront. Before that, President Bush was saying that, everything was okay and that they had everything under control. When Soledad O'Brien, mainly Anderson Cooper, because it was Anderson Cooper that I first saw standing in the streets of, the Gulf Coast, showing us, what was going on. People paddling away on boats, just anything that they could find that would float. That was Anderson Cooper. That was Soledad O'Brien. That was CNN. And just watching everything that was going on. And, these people not having water, refrigeration for food. They were hungry. Then we get to the Superdome, and then those people are just packed in there like tuna, and no food, no running water, no bathroom facilities. Women, on their menstrual cycle, and babies, without clean diapers, and just the whole gamut. People without medicine. And in the midst of all this, you would see a body float by, or you would see people on top of a roof where they had written, "Help us, please." And then you would sit there and you would wonder, hey, this is America. How is this happening in America? How are people in America, in an American city, without water, without food, without the Red Cross, without anything? They're just trying to survive. You're watching people drop dead. You're watching people who have died and who have been pushed off to the side so they wouldn't be, where babies and other people are, because they're dead, and you don't want a body amongst living people. You were seeing people, with their family members just passing out from the heat, and just not having their medicine and water, and it was just so much. And it started to make me really angry with America, because a lot of those people look like me. They look like my family members. And I started wondering, like, had this been, you know, and you really hate to say this, but had this been white people, would they have gotten down there quicker? And then you just watched all of it unfold. And I have a little memoriam that I want you guys to watch to, put back in perspective what those people went through during Hurricane Katrina. Thank you for watching.